Where'd you want to start this one?
Yeah. Oh, let's go. Your boys are back. Another lovely day. It's always a lovely day because you're listening to the pals. We're about to make your day a whole lot better.
I'm your pal, Ricky Liordi.
I don't know why I froze there.
Yeah, I don't know why you did it.
I was just staring at Rick. I'm your pal, George.
You got lost in my eyes, eh, George?
Salas. Yeah, man. You got a nice eyes. You look good today, buddy.
Thanks.
You're very sporty.
Sporty spice. Welcome back to the Pals Podcast. If you are listening for the first time, we thank you and appreciate you listening. If you are one of the returning pals, we obviously appreciate all your support over the last year and a half or so that we've been doing this. If you are new, please subscribe, like, review. It means the world to us. And Georgie, why don't you tell them who we had on today?
Yeah, Richard, I got you. Don't worry. We had the boys from Always Never on. Always Never, for those who don't know, is the huge up-and-coming R&B group. I mean, they're not up-and-coming. They're kind of there, but they're a big up-and-coming group out of Toronto. They honestly have a terrific energy, a terrific style, and they came on to talk a little bit about how they started their career, how they came together. It's just a not bizarre story, very unique story. It's just not something you think would be possible, and not something that you hear most people making hit songs via this way, I guess.
No, that's a good way.
So yeah, it's an interesting origination story of how they came together, and then they kind of took us through their career, their inspiration. We heard a little bit about Dean's secret affection for a Canadian group that might trigger some people, but he loved it, so we respect it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we had a great conversation. Great guys. Dean, Pat, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and sharing your story. And let's give a special shout out to some of our amazing sponsors. We'd like to give a shout out to our presenting sponsor, Cottage Springs. They make some of the greatest vodka waters, vodka sodas out there. Definitely check them out at your local LCBOs. 0 carbs, 0 grams of sugar. We've said it on this podcast numerous times. Some of the best drinks we've had. They just actually released a new raspberry lime vodka water and a new vodka lemonade. So check those out at your local LCBO or check them out online at Cottage Springs.
That vodka water, by the way, is in like a 4-liter box or something.
Yeah.
That thing looks like a good time. Can't wait to bust that up for the cottage.
Oh, yeah.
Want to give a shout out to RFP Design, our good friends, and our pal Andrew Moretti. They were gracious enough to donate to provide us with this incredibly beautiful couch that has really made our studio space and our online video pop a lot more. They make custom furniture. They do custom beds, custom couches, custom chairs, custom dressers. Anything you need for your house,
custom,
that they can make it. Andrew is not. He is a serial entrepreneur and one who is not shy to take on any new task or project. Nothing's too big or too small. They got to be one of the fastest growing custom furniture manufacturers in Canada. Shout out to them. Shout out to the team over there for making this amazing couch. Shout out to Andrew. Go check them out, guys. www.rfpdesign.com and let them know the pal sent you. And I guess last but certainly not least, give a shout out to Cast, our baby and the newest and hottest social voting platform. Also no social media, but we're trying to get away from that because we're trying to be a little more objective. And what we're trying to do is be the objective assembly of public opinion. How we do so is we remove the friction of participation in online conversations by allowing people to be honest, authentic, unique, objective, and just downright curious. We eliminate the social pressures. We eliminate the influence. We eliminate all of those things that would skew someone's opinion in order to deliver fully objective and transparent results to our users and let them think for themselves. Because at the end of the day, everyone should think for themselves. I think that's about it. Go to joincast.co to download now. We are in beta, but the app is still fully functional and is up and running. So get on there now to get your usernames and start casting today because it's about to blow up. My pal, LFG. Let's go. Talking and that's the effect.
Yeah, exactly. It's the ambience. It's the ambience. It's definitely the ambience. They got to know where we're from.
That's it.
Smart. All right.
Our candy machine is officially out too.
Does it work?
Yeah, we bought it for his birthday. So his birthday last year, me and 2 other friends, we bought him this candy machine because he's a big candy guy. If you can't tell,
couldn't tell.
So we we bought him the candy machine about a year ago. Honestly, almost a year ago to this day.
Yep.
Your birthday is in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So we bought him the candy machine, and he just figured it's better here than at his house because he's just gonna eat it.
Where do you get a candy machine like this?
We got lucky. Kijiji found it brand new, so I drove out to Mississauga.
Those Kijiji gems that you find. Like,
Yeah, it's literally, it's exactly what it is.
Like, what category is that even in?
I literally typed it. We were like, okay, what does
Candy machine category.
Yeah, what does George like? Let's think about this. Food, sports, food, and Nike. Okay, he's got enough Nike shit. So let's see. Are we going? Okay, so let's go. Yeah. So we're like, yeah, he loves candy. Okay, so that's a good option. Sports, there's no sports happening because we're in the middle of COVID.
Yeah, literally.
And Nike, he basically has everything that you can buy at Nike. So
That's false. Not everything.
a lot, a lot, a lot,
A lot of Nike.
So we're like, we end up settling on a candy machine. But yeah,
So
welcome, boys.
Love that.
We're
Thank you.
rolling.
Thanks for having us.
Man, it's a pleasure. I know we were trying to do this a couple times. We had some miscommunications, but man,
Yeah.
it's good to have you guys in.
We're all pals now.
Yeah, we're all pals. now.
We're
That's
all
it.
We got the
We're the third
original
and fourth
pal.
pal.
We got
Yeah.
the original pal behind the camera. No one can see. We got a special
Shout out
guest.
to Photo Will.
Yeah.
That's
out to
it.
Paul.
Extra pal back there.
Man, how you guys been?
It's been good. I mean,
Good,
yeah, Toronto lockdowns are interesting. But
Yeah, it's constantly
guess.
happening, right?
Yeah.
yeah, it just keeps getting worse, I guess. But I don't know.
Is it? This is probably a stupid question, but for like artists like yourself, is it better? Not better, but does it kind of force your hand and make you get into the studio and like create, or would you like? Do you still
much.
just hate it and want to get out and?
I think it's like really locked us in for the most part on just like the music creation specifically, because most of the time like we're dealing with like stuff outside the music that makes it like really hard to like focus on like one thing kind of thing. So it'll be like, concerts or rehearsing or
Like music videos, even. Or
music videos
stuff
are like
that.
they take a lot of time and stuff, so a lot of planning, so there's like a lot of stuff in different directions. It's hard to stay in one mindset when you're in a lot of that stuff. So this is kind of like a unique experience of just like only being stuck inside and it's like make music and just focus on that. So it's cool.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of other artists on in the past, and they said this time's actually been nice because everyone you're trying to get a hold of or anyone you're trying to collaborate with is available because nobody's doing anything right now.
That
Or
too, yeah.
maybe not right now because things are starting to open up, especially in the States with concerts and things going a little bit back to normal. But in Toronto, for the most part, basically everybody's either stuck at home or they've already left Canada to go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is like everyone's going through the same thing, unless you live in Florida, I guess, or something. But
Or Texas.
or Texas now,
Texas.
yeah, pretty
Free
much.
for all out there.
Yeah. So if you don't live in Florida or Texas, like it's like everyone's just going through the same shit basically. So I don't know. So I guess like to answer that question, it's like I guess we've just been inside. So that's like that's how we've been. Yeah, we've been like done anything too crazy or anything like that. We filmed some music videos like when we were allowed to back in like November. I think that was like the last like outdoor different thing we did, but since then it's just been like inside like every day pretty much.
Bro, how'd you guys meet?
We originally met through Facebook, so that was back in like
Some boomer stuff.
2015, I think.
Yeah.
I was just kind of making music on my own and just sort of just uploading it to SoundCloud and stuff, and then Dean came across it, and turns out we had some mutual friends, so we had that mutual friend hit me up.
Yeah.
And then he just like linked us in a conversation, and then that's when we made Tragedy, which was our first song ever, and we released that, and like to our surprise it got like millions of plays. So we just kind of figured, why not make more music together.
Yeah.
And we actually didn't even meet till after the song was out.
Really?
So it's just like this like modern era like music making. It's just like you're just working with people online.
Yeah, because it was even crazy with the song just did so well off the bat kind of thing in the SoundCloud era, back when it was like before we didn't even know what Spotify was at the time. Or like Apple Music, I don't think existed.
Like legit didn't know what it was.
Yeah,
it
it sounds
so
like
new.
this was like
It was so
decades
new.
ago, but it's literally 5 years ago or something. So, so we were on SoundCloud, and then and that was like the main source of music. It's like if you wanted to like do something, you put it on SoundCloud and see how it does, kind of thing, right? So we put this song out called Tragedy before we met, and then it just got like millions of plays pretty quickly. So, but if it did like so well that it made us like want to meet up in from different cities kind of thing, and then just like get to know each other, and people are emailing us saying like, what is this, and like what's your next plan and stuff, and that just like prompted us to like keep making music together kind of thing. And then eventually we started living together and like just happened to be like similar people and stuff. So
Now you guys are boys.
yeah,
Now
exactly.
you're pals.
Yeah.
We're the pals.
Now we're the pals, the other pals.
I love that though.
The R&B pals.
Yeah, but you said you're like, so you're surprised it got millions of hits. So you guys were just doing this because the love of the music.
Yeah, man. Like
You were producing, singing, and then
Yeah.
that's it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You guys pull the mics a little closer. It's a little
Closer?
bit quieter.
Sorry
Yeah,
about
keep
that.
it
I
like,
felt like I was close
so
already.
sorry.
like you want to be
Yeah.
like, I literally have it like, sorry,
Hello,
Rick, I
hello?
criticized you.
Yeah, we
before.
always said we're gonna get new mics, but we're
Yeah.
we're legit, but we're not legit. We can't
Tight
afford the new
budget,
mic.
you had
Very
tight
tight budget.
We need a few more sponsors. Cottage Springs. We need some
That's
more.
it.
We need some more.
Um,
We need some more drinks and
no.
some more funds.
Yeah, but you guys said so. To your surprise, you didn't think it was gonna like. Did you listen to it and think we've got something? We're gonna keep working together, or this was fun? You know, we like making music. We'll just put it out there, see what happens.
I mean, I think a lot of our friends were just kind of
Yeah.
telling us that they like the song, but beyond that, you know, like I don't know. I guess it was just kind of like a chance. And like I've released like a few songs before that, and they got maybe like 5,000 plays each. So I was like, that to me at the time was like sick. But like,
Yeah.
you know, getting 2 million plays after just kind of changed everything.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, and then even after SoundCloud, like to this day, the song's still pretty relevant. So just even like 5 years later, or 6 years later,
Yeah,
I
it like
guess,
has a life
but-
on there too, which is
Fires me up because like even when you said you had 5,000, you were like fired up
Bro,
for that.
I was so
Yeah.
excited. I was like 5,000 listeners.
Yeah,
This is
that's-
crazy.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Like with
Yeah.
some of our episodes, you know, we do okay here. We're not like massive. We don't get millions of downloads or hits or plays or anything. But you know, we have an episode that does 10,000, 15,000. We're like, holy shit,
Yeah.
that's
Like, it feels
that's
good, right?
life changing for us. Like
Yeah.
Johnny
Yeah.
Orlando, like that's our biggest episode. And it just fucking took off. He shared
Yeah.
it and whatever. And we're like, that's crazy. But we have some episodes that do 2,000. We're like, sick. That's 2,000 people
Yeah.
listening to me and this idiot
Yeah.
talk for 2 hours
That's super
sometimes.
sick.
We
Like,
can barely listen to each other sometimes. Talk.
sometimes
You want to hear us talk?
sometimes I'm like,
shit.
damn, George,
Yeah.
you gotta stop talking right now. That's
Was-
why, like every download's so nice.
100%. And what's cool too with like I think with podcasts is like it's people like listening to you guys for like an hour or 2 hours, right? So it's
Yeah.
like each view like really means a lot.
I mean, sometimes they don't listen. I know sometimes my brother's like, yeah, I couldn't listen to your voice anymore.
I just clicked off.
But for the most part, you know, it is cool. But I mean,
Yeah.
listen, with all due respect, and like we think we're doing a great job. I think it's much tougher to do what you're doing than we're doing. We're just sitting here trying to sound somewhat intelligent half the time. But yeah, I think it's really like there's so many things that are interesting here that I like. Obviously, we didn't know as much about the background. So hearing first that you guys produce without even meeting is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That like. I mean, I don't know if there's other examples. I've never heard that myself. I like to think that I'm pretty
Yeah.
current in the music space or music world. I guess it's possible now that whatever's doing through COVID, but prior to that, like 2015, I mean, were a lot of people collaborating like across
I don't
online?
know.
Like, was that common back then?
I feel like it happened here and there, but
Yeah.
I think now that everybody's on like Zoom and stuff, you know, even we've done a couple Zoom sessions, right?
Yeah.
It's just like I think that might be the new thing going forward, almost, right? Because it's just as easy and it's like more convenient, right?
Yeah,
Cost
And you can work
effective,
with
yeah.
people across like the world, like wherever.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but at the time though, I think it was definitely still like a little weird. Like I think even for our situation, it was just like a lottery. Like it's like even the fact that we were similar people and could like get along and like live together and stuff, I think was even rare too. Like because like we didn't know anything about each other before we just like put this like song together over email kind of thing. So,
That's crazy.
and, like,
Was
I
it
don't-
literally over email?
literally over? Yeah, it was like literally over.
Not even over
email.
chat. Like not
Yeah.
over like
So you
Slack
sent
or
them the
something.
beats,
That was
you
where we-
set up the vocals, and that's it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was the
Just sending it
weirdest
back
thing was
and
I
forth.
remember I sent the instrumental, and it was maybe the second like instrumental I sent you or something, and then you sent me back the vocals in like one take, and you were like, does this work? And it was like kind of half finished, and I was like, yeah, I think so. And so we just like kind of worked with it from there. I think it was because you didn't
Yeah.
have time to finish it or something, but that ended up becoming the final. It was like I don't know, it just worked. Like it was. And people loved it, so
Yeah.
it was kind of like a unique sound, I think, to people too, because it just like had a weird like mixture of sounds to it, kind of thing. So I think that's what like intrigued people a lot. And it started like, remember when SoundCloud didn't have charts or anything, and it was just like there was like a trending page on SoundCloud where it would show like 2 or 3 songs that were like trending like on a larger scale kind of thing, and it was really hard to get on. And Tragedy was trending on that. Like it was like that's what was so weird about it. So it was just like it just seemed to really catch with people, and then that's just what like kickstarted us to work together. I think,
Yeah.
Like, just that
Pretty
overwhelming
crazy story.
reaction.
It honestly is.
Yeah, that's very different. The fact that never mind like that you guys did it like digitally, like over
Yeah.
email. Who the hell? Like, how do you think of like you do business over an email, not collaborate on like a a hit song through email? So that's probably a first.
Yeah.
That's got to be up there.
Yeah. So even like all these years later, it's like I remember like after we did that song too, it was hard to figure out like I feel like we got lucky off the first song that it did get like the millions of plays and stuff. And then after that, we were trying to figure out like how do we top that kind of thing, because it was now like the new like bar kind of thing. And then
Yeah.
it took us like a couple years, and then and like a lot of like wondering if we ever would have a song that would start to hit like that kind of thing. And then we came with this song called Wylan, and then that started going way farther kind of thing. I think it was like 25 million on Spotify now. And then just like a bunch of other plays on other platforms. But so that was cool too. That was like 2017. But
Okay, so sorry, 2015 is when Tragedy came out,
Yeah,
and then you're
yeah,
like,
it came
okay,
out.
we actually like each other. We're gonna keep doing
Yeah.
this. Like, so you guys decided to move in together in Toronto, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, and
in
then
City Place or whatever.
yeah.
Wait, from different part. You're not both from Toronto. Are you?
No, so
I was living in Toronto at the time.
Okay.
yeah.
But I'm from London originally, and then
Oh.
Dean was living in
You
London.
go to Western? Or?
No, I went to Sheridan in Oakville.
Oh, okay, but you're
Yeah.
from London.
But I used to live there. Like I grew up there, you know. Yeah.
Days
Jim
like actually like a
Bob's.
London guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real London
Bob's.
guy. I grew up in a town called Kempville that was when I moved there, it was like 1,000 people.
I feel like that's one of those like craft hockey towns.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. If you played hockey, you know what Kempville is, and
Yeah.
like that's the only reason. I think 'cause you just
Like
passed through.
one hockey arena in there.
Yeah,
and that's
it's like
it.
a horrible like highway town that I don't know. I mean, I shouldn't say it's horrible. But
Whereabouts is it?
it's like the closest thing is Ottawa, but even
Oh.
Ottawa is like a 30-minute like highway shot away kind of thing. So it's still
Jeez.
like geographically, it's in like kind of the middle of nowhere kind of thing, and it's like there was not really like many musicians there either. It was like a few kind of thing. So even doing music from there was really weird.
Okay.
Because it's like a really like country kind of town, right? So, yeah, it's like nobody really did music there. It was like kind of like a few people, if anything. But
Okay.
so it was kind of odd. I don't know. So to kind of come from that, and like I'd never experienced anything like Toronto before, and then when I got to Toronto, it was like so scary. Like I didn't know how to drive on the roads and stuff. And, like it's terrifying. Like like the TTC or
Streetcar.
yeah, the streetcar drives on the
middle lane?
the middle lane
Stupidest
on
thing in the world?
Lakeshore. Yeah,
Yeah.
And so
Oh, you're talking about the dedicated
yeah,
lane.
like the lake. The
Okay.
lake. I drove down that one. Like one of the first time, like the first time I was on Lakeshore, I drove down that, and I was terrified because I realized it was like, oh, I made like a huge mistake, and like
you can't get out now. You're stuck in there until the
like,
next
you're
light.
literally stuck, and then I just like reversed all the way out because there's barriers
Wait,
on the side.
Do you mean the thing where it goes like down?
I feel sorry for the people who went down.
Yeah,
it's
it's
all
like-
like Dean did.
it's
But
like
I've
some
seen that in
people
the
actually-
news before. I was like, who does that?
yeah, and that was me. Yeah,
No,
I literally did
now
that.
we know.
But I
They
got
have
so
so many
lucky though
signs.
because I realized it like soon enough that I and there was no streetcar like coming, and there's like that dedicated lane, so I felt like an idiot for like 5 minutes, but then I got out and I never looked back.
Okay.
Still haunts me to this day. But
Meanwhile, you're sitting there like my new roommate's an idiot.
yeah,
just shaking.
yeah,
my
I was
head.
like a total idiot when I came to Toronto. Like, the
I'll
first
make,
time. It
you
was
feel
like-
a little bit better, so you don't feel like as much feel like an idiot about that. I was in an Uber once, and I'm assuming this guy's from Toronto, whatever. But he was an Uber driver, and I got in. It was on King Street, so I don't know where I was going, but let's just say from Spadina or like the Bathurst downtown towards like Bay Street. It's like a rainy-ish day. And I get in this car, and he's driving like he's in the right lane, and there's a few streetcars. If you're driving naturally on King, you're gonna pass a few streetcars.
Yeah.
For those in Toronto who don't know, the streetcar on King Street drives like in the middle lanes, and you can't pass on the right side when the doors open. It's like pedestrians get out. Obviously, you know this now, but pedestrians get out, so the doors open. You're supposed to stop. So we're going down.
It's a big ticket if you don't, eh?
Okay,
It's like $1,000 or
so
something.
this guy should have got $10,000 in tickets. So I'm in the Uber and I'm in the back seat. And I'm like on my phone, and I see like the streetcar slowing down. And I see this guy kind of like driving to the right side of it. I was like, whoa. I was like, that's illegal. I was like, hey buddy, like you gotta stop it though. He's like, yeah, okay. So that's at like Bathurst, let's say in King. We're getting towards Spadina in King. I see another one slowing down. I was like, oh my, this guy's not stopping. The doors are opening. He goes through it again. I was like, buddy, you cannot do this.
Is he
That's
flying through them?
like pretty quick. If you hit someone, that's game over for that person. I think he's doing like 20 or 30 through. I was like, hey man, you can't do that. Older Asian guy. Maybe he wasn't from here. Like, and he wasn't really communicating. So I was like, maybe he not from here, doesn't drive here. Then we're getting to like King and Duncan. This was the final straw. I was like, okay, this is dangerous. King and Duncan. He's now in the middle lane behind a streetcar, and it's slowing down. And I see him move to the right. I'm like, this guy's gonna blow past this streetcar. No. And I see ahead, there's a bus. That's the stop. There's a giant puddle in front of it. He goes to the right. The streetcar stops. He keeps going, hits this puddle, soaks like 8 people, and goes past. I'm yelling at this guy. I'm like, stop the car. I got out. I reported him to Uber. So this guy's gonna do some damage to somebody one day.
Yeah.
I look back. I just see like all these people like swearing and screaming, covered in water. Like they're looking at him like, man, like I'm not driving. I just walked the rest of the way. So to your point, you weren't that bad. This guy was this guy was an absolute maniac, and he was driving for Uber. I was like the worst experience of my life. I was so scared.
That's like a negative 100 stars.
Have either of you guys ever got soaked by a puddle like that?
No, luckily not, but I can't imagine it's nice.
I feel like in Kempfil I probably did.
I
They
got
had,
soaked
dirt
by one
roads and
once.
stuff,
You
know?
did?
Actually in London.
Shut up.
So I used to live
Really?
at 992 Richmond, right on Richmond, like basically between downtown and main gates of campus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember I was walking home. It was raining one day, and I had my knapsack. And I always just walked, right? Because I don't like taking the bus.
Yeah.
So I was walking, and I'm walking this way, and the car's coming the opposite direction. And I see the puddle, and I was like, well, he'll probably drive around it, right? Like, it was a noticeable puddle. Slowed down, soaked me. Like, we almost made eye contact as he's, like, soaking me. And then he kind of stops.
no.
I look back, and you can see him looking back in the window, and I'm like, fuck. That sucks.
That sucks.
School bag on, everything. Like, I was basically home, so it's not the end of the world. But like me with my little knapsack, just walking down Richmond Row,
Just absolutely soaked.
Yeah, it was
Sounds
honestly
terrible.
Terrible.
massive L.
Yeah, it's that's a big L.
Do you
feel bad?
think about that Uber driver to this day?
Yeah, I wonder what he's doing. He's still driving for Uber. 'Cause I'm not normally gonna report someone. I'm gonna be like, hey, if it was just poor driver, I'll give him a bad star review. But I was like, this guy might hurt. Like I've never seen anyone do that in Toronto. I've lived here my whole life. I've never seen anyone like rip past a streetcar like that. He did it like 3 on one street. I was like, this guy's got to get stopped.
That's it.
But I don't
RIP.
know, Uber. I don't know if you got my report from George Boutsalis. Check it out. Let me know if you guys got that guy off the streets.
Yeah, he's probably listening
He's a
to
pariah.
this. He's going to
Yeah.
listen to this. He's going to be so mad. He's like, this guy ratted me out.
Yeah. Anyways, but enough about us and our streetcar stories. Or I guess, yeah. We were on
We're at
74.
2017, Wyland. You guys
Yeah.
live together
Yeah.
in Toronto. So you guys are boys at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever little side quest? You guys ever just like hate each other? Just like some days we can't stand each other. Like me and George, we're best friends. We've been best friends for over a decade now. And there's like times, not so much lately.
Earlier this morning.
No, but that's like a little more. But like there's times like we'd almost like go at it. But like I fucking hate you.
I
We
don't
don't
think
talk
that's
for
I
a
don't
week.
think so. I think we're both very like passive people, so we're just kind of
Yeah.
just like if there happens to be something, then it's just
Yeah.
It's just gone.
don't talk about it until it's goes away.
Just sweep it under the rug.
A month later, it's like, you remember when you left that dish on the table for a week?
Still thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Rick are the opposite. If something bothers one of us, we tell the other person that
Yeah.
immediately.
But we're
And,
good. Lately, we've been good. Our last. What was our last real tiff? Maybe like a year plus ago. But like we'll like, literally get mad at each other,
Yeah.
won't talk for a day or two, and then it's like we see each other freaking 5 days a week. So it's like,
Yeah.
if you're mad at someone, we got to squash this ASAP because we got too much.
Have you guys
other
ever
shit
fought on
the
the podcast?
That could be fun.
No.
Can we do that today?
you guys want to hear about Ricky's? I got a question for you guys. Actually, he'd be a good one to ask because he's been down.
Will would
Okay, I
actually.
got a question for the 3 of you guys. Have you ever had a tequila beer?
I think I have.
Like a tequila shot in a beer?
Is that where they put like the Corona upside down in your beer glass?
No.
No, it's more like you have a
You
cup
have
of
a cup
beer,
beer.
you drop a shot of tequila in, and you chug the beer.
Okay, I don't think I have.
See, the sake's different. That's not.
I feel like I've done it.
Yeah, Bonza. So
And
exact same idea.
The reason we asked is this morning. So it actually, you know what? Funny story on that point. So we went to Cancun twice in university, second year and third year, and we would drink those drinks. Anyways, we were talking this morning, and Rick said he invented them. Which
Oh my god, I think I invented them.
I was like, for sure that's not true because like there's a beer brand that was invented in '95 that has tequila in it, so you couldn't have been the first. Anyways,
It's
that's not the
tequila
point.
tasting beer.
But to answer the question about the last time we fought, the first time we fought was in Cancun. We almost got a fist fight on the beach. We were like traveling
God.
together with boys.
Oh, that's wild.
We got in a fight over the last piece of chicken at the buffet.
No way.
You ever heard that, Jordan?
don't fight. Don't try and take food off George's plate.
Yeah,
man.
that's literally what happened.
Literally, I was like, "Oh, give me some of your chicken." He's like, "No," and I'm like hammered. I'm like trying to just grab it. He's like trying to stab
I want
my
to go.
hand.
I'm almost like, listen. It's because I told Rick, I was like, hey, we should stop drinking, go get lunch because it's gonna run out of food. And I get there and I get the last piece of chicken because he was loafing. He's like, give me some chicken. I didn't get any. I was like, you should have listened. He didn't listen.
Wouldn't share, eh? What a guy.
Anyways, that's
That's our first.
Yeah,
So you guys, no big tips with you guys. No,
No.
stabbing
No.
people's
I never
hands.
stabbed
No,
you.
yeah.
Almost stabbed you. Close.
No
Anyways.
big tips.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I
Okay,
can't
so
think of any either.
This is good. So we're 2017. No fights. Best friends.
No fights.
Living in
lots of
Toronto.
good
Wyland
songs,
just
you know?
came out. Things
Yeah.
are good. What next?
We did like we started doing shows in I think that was in 2018.
Shows.
Would have been 2018.
What are those?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, I don't even
I
know,
don't even know what those
anymore.
are
Honestly,
anymore.
So, yeah.
What's a concert?
Back in our day, there was concerts. I don't know. It was
Back in my
this thing
day.
where a lot of people came into our room and listened to your music. I guess. I don't know. It's a long time ago.
So, Chef, where were you guys doing shows?
So the first one we did was Mod Club.
Oh, sick.
That
Great
was
venue.
yeah, obviously in Toronto.
Didn't it just
So,
close down?
It did.
Yeah,
Kinda
we were.
sad.
We actually posted about that. Yeah, and they reposted us because it was. Yeah, that was. So that was our first show, and it was like
legit venue for a first show.
Yeah, it was really good.
Huge.
Yeah, we did. It was all
Yeah.
hard tickets and stuff. And
Fuck, sick.
so that was it was important to us too because we knew how much Mod Club meant to Toronto. So we knew we had to do it there for sure. So that went well. And then but yeah, we saw that it closed. It was really sad, but I guess it's just one of those. I guess a lot of venues are probably closing from lockdown, right?
Yeah, man. Shit.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Like what you just said about how much it meant to Toronto. We actually were we had Michael Weckler on the podcast recently. Michael Weckler is the
Yeah, I
guy
saw
from
that,
Dragon's Den
yeah.
who bought the Alma Combo. We were talking about on that episode about how like the music industry in general, like kind of North America wise, and like how Toronto has some venues that are like staples, but not as many as like most cities. You know, you go to like Chicago or you go to like New York. There's like those ones that like every musician wants to play.
So true.
Toronto does, at least it doesn't feel like there's that many.
Yeah.
And actually we never brought it up, but the Mod Club probably would have been one. The Mod Club is like for a like up and coming artist is a pretty big staple as a venue.
Yeah, if you're from Toronto, that's like
I feel like that's an iconic venue to be at.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
especially for a first show, which is like why we like really just like waited for that opportunity. Like we didn't
Yeah.
want to do any like smaller shows or like anything like that.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Yeah, that would be a cool venue to play. Fun fact, I once DJ'd the Mod Club, but not
Yeah?
by me.
you've DJ'd
Amazing.
bigger venues than the Mod Club too. You've
Mod Club I
DJ'd
played.
Gov.
No, I didn't. Gov.
You know, DJ'd
Sky
Gov.
Bar.
Sky Bar.
Yeah. I back in my day,
Yeah.
back in my West Indies, used to be a DJ.
Go on
slash
SoundCloud,
producer.
Gvon B.
Back
Hear a
in the,
couple
don't look it
mashups.
up.
I'm looking it up.
Don't
I'm
look
looking
it
it
up.
up. 100%.
Okay, so how was first show? Great.
Yeah, it was like we were definitely like really nervous. I think like because it was
Oh, yeah.
it was obviously the first time. I was the first time ever live performing. Right, it was like
First time
Especially
for
you're coming
me,
from a town
yeah.
of 1,000 people. Too,
oh yeah. There was.
More people in the venue. Than
I wish
in
there
your
was
town.
more people. Yeah, like the town was technically like 1,000 when I moved there, but like generally it would be less people than that was in the Mod Club, which is cool. I guess.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was that was really cool. It was my parents that came out from Kempville to come see it and stuff. Like I don't think my dad had my dad like sees, he doesn't really pay attention to like or he didn't really at the time like pay attention to streaming. He didn't really like, he doesn't use Spotify or anything like that, so it was very hard to describe to him like what we were doing exactly for like a long time. He didn't know what our music sounded like for a long time because he didn't know how to listen to it.
I know that feel.
Yeah, so I had to. So I but he eventually got on Spotify, and now he's like completely aware of it. But it like took some time to get there because I didn't know how to explain like SoundCloud or anything like that, you know, because he doesn't know what any of that is.
Yeah, you're trying to tell your dad you're a musician. It's like, okay, so do I hear your music on the radio?
Yeah.
Is it on 680? They're
Yeah.
gonna play it during the traffic hour. Like,
That's the thing too. Yeah, it's like it's really hard. I feel like it was hard to explain modern like streaming or something, right? Because like if you're like nobody like we were never gonna put our albums on CDs or something, right? Like it didn't really make sense. But like a lot of my family mostly like knew that as like that was their source. They didn't really know what Spotify was, kind of thing. Especially my dad. So he just had like he specifically had no idea what our music sounded like for the first like 3 or 4 years. But then he came to the Mod Club and then he like saw like all the people and then he would start to get excited about it because he was like, oh, this is like, you finally see the impact in person, like this many people care to like listen to your music and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And like be at this
Trying to
concert.
explain like we have like 1 million plays, like okay, but
Yeah, it
those,
doesn't
are
really
those real
mean much.
people.
Yeah, well,
Those just one guy in his basement hitting play.
Yeah, like it was really hard to explain.
I'll
for a long
believe me.
time.
We know what that's
Yeah.
like. I mean, very different level. But even having this podcast, like, I mean, the first like episode we told our dads, like, you got a podcast. I don't know about your dad. My dad was like, awesome. He would tell everybody, but like, do you listen? He's like, yeah. I look at his phone. I go to his Spotify. I'm like, you're not even subscribed, man. Like our moms listen to like every episode. They'll DM us. Like our moms will
other
DM the
podcasts.
opposite person. Like his mom messaged me recently. She's like, oh, I loved what you said here. And like they're our biggest fans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll see our dad's like, how's the podcast going? I'm like, you listen lately? He's like, nope. I can't figure out the Spotify thing. I was like, just gotta hit play, man.
my mom's the go-to because my mom will like play on Google, Spotify, Apple, and YouTube.
Oh,
so
she,
ladies,
like, really runs
I know
off
for
stream,
sure every
yeah.
episode we got 4 downloads minimum, guaranteed.
Gotta hit it on all
What about
platforms.
for you when you were at Mod Club? When
Like,
like,
was that-
your parents come up, like,
Oh yeah. They came. They were like, they're on the upper part of Mod Club,
Yeah,
right? And they told me after that they were like really really nervous for me because they're like we didn't realize that you're like a performer now,
yeah.
right? So they were just like so nervous. But in the end, like they were just so happy about it. Like it was a great feeling that like they finally also understood what we were about.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you see them when you're performing? Like, like professional athletes when they're playing hockey or football, they look up to their parents in the crowd. Were you like, there's my mom, she's up there, I see her? Or like,
yeah, I mean, I
like
definitely
that?
glance up there. It's always nice because like when you see familiar faces in the crowd like smiling up at you, it's just like it gives you that like energy to like keep going kind of thing. Because like it can be a nerve-wracking experience, right?
Fucking
So
can
it's like,
imagine.
Yeah, especially the first time. Yeah, and then like after that, we went to a lot of like even though we're from Canada, like a lot of the people who listen to us are from the States mostly, and some of like Europe. So when we went to the States, then it was almost an even different experience because we went to LA, it like sold out a month ahead. And then when we were there, people were like coming at like 2 p.m. and like we didn't go on until 10 p.m. kind of thing. And it
Sick.
was just, yeah.
What?
But I think it's also just like in the American culture, it's like there's like a high, I don't know if it was because they also maybe thought we were never going to come again or something. So they're like,
Always never.
let's savor the moment.
Always coming, never coming back.
Yeah. Maybe, and actually we haven't been back
Bang the
since.
zig,
So.
Jordan.
That's funny.
So I don't know if it was that, but then it was the same thing when we did Chicago, and then we did New York kind of thing. And it was like, it always felt like anybody that, whenever we'd always like meet people after the shows too. That was always an important part, was like doing like meet and greets and trying to meet as many people as we can kind of thing. So there'd be like 100 or 200 people like staying after the shows kind of thing, asking us questions. And then we would stay there for like a couple hours, just like,
Good
answering
guys.
stuff. And yeah, just trying to do that thing, you know, like before like things, become like, you know, down the road when it's maybe not that possible to do that or something. Like we wanted to make sure that we, in that moment that while we could, we were like, we should meet as many people as we can. And then really get to know, like, you know, why do people like our music? Why are you here kind of thing? Especially in places like in the States where we're like we'd never been to Chicago before, like ever kind of thing. So like I didn't even know what it was like at all.
Yeah, you're competing with
city,
so
right?
many other.
Yeah, and it was great. Yeah, it was really cool. And but so I guess like having those fans there, like that was really interesting because like when we're in Toronto, it's like and like getting to know people, it's like we're also, you know, in Toronto kind of thing. So
Yeah,
but when
yeah.
we're in the States, I'm like, or in Chicago, I'm like, how did you like, you know, what made you like connect with our music kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like we're not from Chicago or anything like that. We've never been here, but
Yeah,
It's a really cool thing to ask. Just want to add,
Yeah.
like, it's
Yeah.
like, because, you know, oftentimes, like, you know, you might see the views and the streams, and that's great, but like, it might be on one song, you release another one, it's like, oh, this one didn't do as well. Like, I don't understand why. Like, you know, we're
Yeah.
big, popular, we're singers now, we have talent, but that's really cool that you guys actually go and ask, like, what made you like us, like, what resonated with you. It's really cool to find that out. I think it's super important too. It's like, I mean, it goes hand in hand with anything, right? Like in business, why does someone like your product? In art, why does someone like your art? And
Yeah.
it's really cool to do that. And it's probably super important and probably super helpful at this point in your careers.
And I think it really just builds a personal connection further than like, you know,
sure.
seeing someone through Instagram or just even just seeing them live, but it gives you like a further thing, like something that they'll remember, and like taking pictures with tons of people and stuff. So, but what we did find with the American side, like when we did the American shows, that it was that much more engaged because I don't know if maybe it was because they thought we would never come back. And we haven't since because of all the lockdown stuff. So it was probably a good call, but
Well, they're glad they showed up.
yeah,
at 2
they're
o'clock.
like, thank God I talked to those guys.
Yeah. No, but it's interesting because back in the day, and I say back in the day, like 90s, early 2000s, meet and
Yeah.
greets were a big part of, you know, musicians and artists. But then because of the rise
Yeah.
of social media, I feel like meet and greets have kind of slipped off the radar. Not as many artists are doing them because they have a connection with their fans on social media. But the ones that still do meet and greets, I know it goes such a long way. Like we're friends with Joe and Andrew from Loud Luxury, and like Will knows them too. And they did a tour of all the, like a bunch of university cities and states across the states. And they did meet and greets after every single show. And they were having like, I don't know, 800,000 person shows and like 500 people waiting in line to come talk to them after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that goes such a long way. Like I'm sure you guys realized it too, that when you were doing these meet and greets and you got these 100, 200, 300, 400 people waiting to talk to you, just that 1 minute that you give them is amazing to them. That's like their night. And actually another funny story, Johnny Orlando's one that told us that. He goes, some days he was so tired and it's that last person in the line, you got no energy left. But he's like, you got to remember that person, you're still the one person that they want to talk, or the two people that they want to talk to. So you have to bring them the exact same energy as you gave the first person that was in line.
100%.
Because it's like, they're going to remember that 1 minute, that, 30-second interaction where they said, hey guys, big fans, love you from Chicago. And you got to give them that energy back, right?
100%.
Yeah. I mean, some of our meet and greets have been like 2 hours or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't even feel like 2 hours. Like
Really?
you kind of like,
Yeah.
I love it.
You don't get
personally.
tired by the
Yeah,
end of
I
it.
think
at
it's
all.
all-
It gives
It's the
me
best
energy.
part.
Like I love it.
Fires
Like,
me
all the way
up,
to the
yeah.
end.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a meet and greet, Georgia. That's it.
Yeah, no
The
one's
pals.
standing out there.
Elaine, Frank.
What if it be our dads? Our dads won't know they're having a meet and greet. They didn't even listen to this.
It's gonna be our moms and your girlfriend. That's it.
No, probably not even. Nah, she'll be there. Give one second. Open this window, guys. Get again.
And
Yeah,
grab
it
me a
is.
drink
It's getting
too.
hot.
Yeah.
Grab me a Cottage Springs when you get a chance.
It gets hot real quick. I might actually. I might have to get another one too. Actually.
Yeah, man. Cottage Springs are nice.
Shout out to Cottage Spring. These are fire. I've actually been buying
Yeah,
Cottage Spring for years.
You know what? When we reached out to them to partner, actually Jordan's the one that did it. It worked out perfectly because it's like a good Canadian brand. You know,
Yeah.
it tastes delicious.
Yeah.
And again, it's like not bad for you. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Soda and the rest are water. So
I'll get whatever they want first. I'll take whatever's left.
Do you have another one of these ones? The
no, those are out. We got this one, raspberry.
I'll go with the vodka water. Actually, that's pretty fire.
I'll grab that too. Sure.
Yeah, it's really dope to have so many companies like just from Toronto that make like incredible stuff.
Yeah, that's the good. All of our partners are Canadian
Yeah.
made companies, which is like super important, especially during COVID. You talk about the importance of like supporting local and just like supporting homegrown businesses.
100%.
That's like super cool to us. So it's great. They're honestly they taste really good. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and I think 100 calories or less. Yeah, 100 calories or less.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
It's awesome when you have like a product from Toronto that you're not just like you don't just believe in because they're from Toronto, but it's also because it's like amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like so it's so easy.
It's a good
'cause you're
vibe.
just
It's like, we got lucky.
Actually, genuinely
We got
love
very
it.
lucky with our sponsors. Like
Yeah.
we were talking off air too, but even with those vodka lemonades, so they're releasing them in. It's actually any day now because I know the release is in April. I think it's the middle of April. LCBO does a release of new products once a year, and it's like
nice.
around now. So they're releasing the 4-liter box of vodka water, raspberry lime, and then the new vodka lemonades, and they're so good. So they gave us a case, and the idea is that we're supposed to promote it weekly on our show. The problem is they taste really good, and me and George went through them in literally a week, and we got to keep the 3 extra on the table.
We had 24 of these. They were gone the first day we had
Literally
them.
first.
I mean,
day.
I believe it. They're delicious. Like,
They're so good.
If you guys
So
have a
Cottage
chance,
Springs,
these are the best.
We
Those
need
are-
more.
Those will be the drinkers. I can almost I would bet money that like cottage parties, house parties, like anywhere. Excuse me. Go out like the parks. That can specifically, you'll see it everywhere. That thing is insane. It's like vodka lemon. It's the best drink I think I've ever had. In terms of a canned drink, whatever.
It's dangerous though.
That's so good.
Yeah.
You put a couple of those back.
I believe it.
Okay, so we're at 2017-18 Mod Club.
Yeah. So yeah, we did like the next like 3 shows after that was what order was it in? It was
It was
LA.
LA. And
Yeah.
then it was.
LA's got to be dope performing
Yeah,
there
that,
too, right?
that was a
Like,
lot of fun actually. The because also like we've been to LA a lot, and so we were like super familiar with LA. So it was cool to be there because like we have a lot of friends there that also were like kind of proud to see us there, kind of thing, and to like be performing there. So it was kind of cool to go because we used to go to LA and kind of like just do like some sessions and stuff like that. And so like then the next time we came back, we were doing a concert there. So it was like kind of a cool feeling to have that. Then we did Chicago, which was really cold.
It's
We were
the
there
coldest
in
day.
January.
Yeah, it's
like
like minus 30, I think, on the day.
something like that.
Like
And it
F
was and we like before we went on, there was like in the venue, the only way to get to this like to be hidden before going onto the stage was you had to like go through a loop like outside. So we were like waiting outside and like and just freezing to death basically. And then went onto the stage
because you're in your like performing clothes. You
Oh,
guys
yeah,
look
you-
like
you
nice
know.
and hip, eh? Just like you guys look now. Bomber jackets and whatever.
Yeah, so we were
Yeah.
we were freezing. So I don't if we were like the next time we do a show in Chicago, definitely won't do it in the winter.
No, you're not going back. Remember?
Oh yeah, because lockdown's forever.
You're never going back there.
Yeah,
right?
there's no concerts anymore. It's
That's
over.
it, ever.
It's a past life. So yeah, and then we did New York, which was a lot of fun. Something about New York though was I kind of screwed up the Airbnb that we stayed at because so like on Airbnb they show you like the general area of like where it might be or whatever,
Yeah.
but it's kind of mysterious because they can't tell you the address, but they show you the general area. But in Brooklyn, so we decided to stay in Brooklyn because the venue was like it was basically just between Brooklyn and New York at the north side kind of thing. And but it was still like considered New York, but it was like technically Brooklyn. So we're like, oh, we should just stay in Brooklyn because it makes more sense. But we don't know anything about Brooklyn. I've only been to like the New York City side, right? So so anyway, so I was picking the Airbnb and it shows like the whole general area, and I'm like, okay, this all looks good or whatever. And like I was figuring it was being like the top part of the circle or something.
Yeah,
but the circle was huge. And then it ended up being in like this really like fucked up area kind of thing. Like so when we found out,
basically you're not driving or booking Airbnbs anytime soon.
No,
That's
I'm
it.
totally banned. Yeah,
That's
you're banned.
it. You got to take over.
I gotta take over
Because I also, even when we did have like the address, I didn't really know because I didn't like cross check with like any of my like New York friends. And then when we pulled up to it, like we were driving through all these like great neighborhoods and stuff, and then like okay, cool. And then it just kept driving. It just kept getting worse and worse. And then we just ended up in this area that was like, oh my god, and the place was like really run down kind of thing. And I was like texting my New York friends, and I was like, "What do you think of this area?" And they were like, "You need to leave immediately."
Like, you guys, this is not for you guys right now.
We ordered Uber Eats that night because
And
like
it
it
got
was pretty
stolen.
late and it got stolen. Somebody's waiting outside, I guess, the place or whatever, and they just said that they were us, and they just took the Uber Eats.
Shut up.
Just taking L's, boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were just like inside, and then my New York friends. I didn't really know like I wasn't trying to like judge the area or anything like that because we like it definitely seemed like we were in the wrong area for sure. But like but we were like in the place, and then when I was texting my New York friends, they just made me so anxious because they were just like, "You have to leave. Like you have to call Uber and get a refund. Like don't
It's good that you guys got some good
Yeah, they
management
were like
now.
scaring me and stuff.
They can take care of this now. You guys don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, they were like scaring me and stuff. So I was like, oh shit, I guess we have to leave or something. So, but it ended up working out. Like it was fine. And then, I don't know. It ended up being really far from the venue anyways. So it wasn't even beneficial.
Do you know what neighborhood it was by any chance? Like,
It was somewhere in Flatbush. I think.
Whatever.
Yeah, it was somewhere in
sketchy
Flatbush,
as hell.
but
Yes.
I can't remember where. I knew where it was specifically at the time because this was
If I-
obviously in 2019 or whatever. But like when I had the specific address, like I told my friends, and they were like, "You have to like get out of there
That's
now."
it.
And I was
Whenever
like,
we
"Oh my
stay in
God."
New York, we'll message you and say, "Hey, where did you stay? Is this where you stay? And if you stay there, we will not stay there."
Yeah, pretty much.
What's
That's-
Yeah, it was-
actually, you know what? Actually, I have a little story kind of on that. Me and a good buddy of mine. Wait, no, was it with you and Lewis? Electric Zoo.
Our Airbnb there or hotel or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah, yeah. But was it Lewis? Yeah, because that was last time when Lewis and I were there. So we were at Electric Zoo in
2011.
We're not at university anymore.
Yeah, we were. It was great. It was fourth year because it was my 21st birthday.
Oh, true. Okay. So, anyways, it was September long weekend. We went to Electric Zoo in New York. It's on Rand. You guys know,
Yeah, I
right?
know
Yeah,
Electric Zoo.
obviously. So, anyways, we're there, but I can't remember. So we basically got like the bus pass that takes you back, but we were staying in the Upper East Side. So it was we're like, yo, it's across the river. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And we were actually in an okay area, but not far from the Upper East Side is like Lexington and something. It's like a very sketchy area. And I don't know if it's not a bad story. So, anyways, it was me, a good friend of mine, Lewis, Ricky, and our buddy Dom. Ricky and Dom were somewhere, I don't know. Me and Lewis stayed till the end, I think. We took the bus back just because like the water taxis were booked, everything. So we're like, where does this bus drop us off? They're like, it's on the map. It's here. We're like, oh, we live a couple blocks away, so we'll walk. So we're on the bus and we get left in like, I guess at Lexington, and I just know that name, so I'm like, I know this is not the best area. So I was like, Lewis, we gotta get off this thing, just check your pockets and just walk. Like, don't look around. We have to use the washroom. So we're trying to find like a KFC or like a McDonald's, some like fast food convenience stores. We walk into all of them. They wouldn't let him go. All of them had bulletproof glass blocking the counters. I was like, man, we should probably get out of here. He's like, I'm going to piss my pants. I'll never forget this. So I'm like, just go in this alleyway. It's like a dark little alley, but they couldn't see anybody.
Good advice, George.
What's behind the dumpster?
no.
There's a dumpster.
Oh, behind the dumpster too.
So he's like, okay, he looks around. He's like, no one's here. So he goes behind there and he's about to go to the piss. And as he's on the piss, I guess somebody was doing something shady in the back and it startled him. I don't even know if I can say this a lot. He pissed on himself. And the guys like chased him down. So he just started running back to the hotel. And that was the last time I ever stayed in the Upper East Side of New York.
my
It was
goodness.
like, yeah, I don't know if I should have told that about Luke.
At least
but
the
sorry,
food
Luke.
didn't get stolen, though. That's
Yeah.
right side.
Yeah,
But
no,
anyways,
getting your food stolen. That was like not even like the worst part. Like when we were in there too, like when we first went in, I feel like we just got a bad impression off the bat because we were in the place and there was just so much shit happening because it was like in the house, but it was like we had a bottom floor of a house and the whole top was just like
It's a crazy
the
party
loudest
upstairs.
partying and like banging and stuff like that. Like it was just so loud. And then there was just people all outside and stuff, and it was I don't know. Yeah, it was just so hectic off the bat, and we just didn't know what was going on. And in the meantime, like my friends are texting me saying you have to get out of there. It's like really fucked up. I wish I could remember where it is, but But it was like
we'll find out. We'll send you a text next time we're in New York. Make sure we do not
don't
stay
stay
there.
in that part of Brooklyn, and don't stay near Lexington,
that's
and
it.
the Upper East Side.
Yeah.
And you'll be probably okay.
The Airbnb owner is going to listen to this and probably
Yeah.
That's it, eh?
rating or something.
You'll go back and give him a
Revoke my
1 star.
rating.
Yeah, between that and the Uber driver.
Yeah.
That's crazy. People actually steal Uber food. I can believe that. Like,
I
that's
can see
crazy.
it. There's
kinda
people that steal
shocking,
Amazon deliveries and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's fucking crazy.
Especially
So-
now because they don't even knock on your door. They just leave it
Just
there.
leave
They
it,
just
yeah.
take a picture and they're gone.
It's crazy
Personally,
seeing
I
those
love, like, my
videos
building's
too.
like
Like,
pretty safe. So I love
Mine's-
getting home and
yeah,
just get a package. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, mine's
Yeah.
pretty good too. I
It'd suck
think.
if you lived in a
idea.
sketchy place in New York and it'll steal
Yeah.
all the time.
you seen
Anyways,
those videos of like where people like the Amazon people like throw the packages or something
Yeah.
and like do the basketball toss like
Basketball
to your
toss
front
it onto your
door.
porch.
Yeah.
you see the one
So
I saw a video on Instagram or YouTube or something the other day where an Amazon driver delivers something. And a neighbor comes and takes or not neighbor, someone in the neighborhood comes and takes the package. Someone's like about to go and get it. So the person like chases this person down the street.
saw
I'm like,
that, yeah.
holy fuck, man.
What? Really?
Yeah, man. It happens more than you think.
I mean, I can believe it.
Oh my god.
There's some shit people in the world. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
I saw one on Six Buzz where a guy like grabbed the package, got in his car, and then like fucked up and like drove onto like a snowbank and got
I
his
saw
car
that one
stuck.
time. They
I was
got the
just
car
thinking about
stuck on the
that.
snowbank.
I was just saying, but it felt like just awkward to even watch because as the guy's like
Trying to get away.
just digging his tires into the
the
snow,
snowbank.
panicking.
Cops
His
pull up.
heart is definitely like racing, like trying to get
good.
away.
Honestly,
that's
that's
karma.
the universe
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah,
You
that's
deserve
karma,
that.
yeah.
If you're that kind
Yeah.
of person,
Yeah.
Agreed. I wanted to ask, what's your favorite show you guys ever played?
I personally love the Mon Club. I love New York. I loved LA. I mean, I like.
I
I loved all of them.
All of them were like a unique.
All right, we can't
experience.
pick
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, no, they're
I
really
think-
good. But do you have a favorite?
I feel like probably LA.
Why?
I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's but only because I don't know. It was like with people like lining up so early and stuff, and like the I don't know. Yeah, it was just something about it. Like it was like everybody there was just so engaged, kind of thing. I mean, like everybody was like saying the words. We have like videos from it too, like afterwards. It's kind of hard to see from the stage sometimes because like the lights like kind of blind you. But when we saw like videos after, it's like everyone's like singing like every word, kind of thing. You know,
That's gotta be
like,
sick.
everybody's like super
Yeah,
stoked.
it's
So
crazy.
it was just really engaged, and I think also, it's just like I don't know if it's like an LA thing or something, but like nobody was like afraid to sing the lyrics and stuff, you know, like, or it just felt like that. That was a really cool feeling.
That's
I
like
think.
me.
Yeah.
Even if I don't know the words, I'm singing
Yeah.
at the top of my lungs.
Yeah, even if they didn't know the
I
words,
don't even know.
yeah.
I'm at a Rihanna concert. Yeah, man. Pour it up, pour it up.
Yeah.
Rick's a huge concert
Yeah.
goer.
When
Yeah.
concerts
Honestly,
are back,
like,
whenever that is,
yeah.
I'll be there front row.
What do you?
I'll
You
literally
say-
go to basically every concert. I think it's one of the most fun kind of either date nights or like boys nights or hang out with your mom and dad night.
Yeah.
Like there's a concert for everybody. For
Yeah, there
everything.
really
Yeah,
is.
it's really true.
You
What's
know,
what's your favorite concert?
hands down, no questions asked, Adele.
Adele,
Like
really?
no
I've never seen
questions
Adele.
asked. I didn't really care to go, and I wasn't the biggest Adele fan. Like I know like Rolling in the Deep and like the generic radio bangers.
Yeah.
But my mom wanted to go. So we get tickets because we have tickets for Leafs and Raptors, me and George. So we get early access to buy seats. So what I do is the ones I want to go to, I'll always just buy tickets and then I'll decide who I go with. The ones I don't care so much, I'll email like my brother, his fiance, my mom, and say, hey, anybody want them? Let me know. I'll grab them.
Yeah.
Well, nobody responded. Okay, so I didn't get them. A couple days, before the concert, my mom gets back from Florida and she goes, "Oh, Adele's in town. Why aren't we going?" I'm like, "Here's the email. You didn't respond. I didn't buy tickets. We got to go." Well, Adele concert tickets are like lower bowl crappy seats were like $1,000. I'm like, "Mom,
Yeah,
Jesus.
we're not paying that, right? Like that's insane. That's insane." So we got
You
lucky.
only
I ended
pay
up-
that for Rufus the Soul.
yeah, Rufus is still maybe. No, but even that I wouldn't. So I ended up emailing my guy. He's like, "Look, I got some like random tickets, but you got to buy 4 of them." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, okay, I'll buy 4 of them." They were like $150, $200 each, lower bowl. So me and my mom, my friend, and his fiance. And again, remember, I know 2 songs, basically, like "Rolling in the Deep" and whatever the "Hello." Yeah, that's the one I knew.
That was a banger.
So I got there, and I don't even know if she had any openers. It's just Adele on stage by herself, and she doesn't dance, right? She just sways side to side and sings. She has 3 background singers, and I've never witnessed just pure like fucking pipes on somebody in my entire life. Like I've seen so many people perform at the ACC, and she was just far and above, beyond better than everybody else. Like I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, I'm witnessing like one of the best performers of all time.
Yeah, I could see that. 'Cause like even like with her,
I was almost
songs,
crying at the end. She's like
yeah.
got confetti, and all the confetti has like little like inspirational quotes on them. I'm
Really?
like, fuck, I
That's
grab some,
crazy.
put it in my
I've never
pocket. I'm
heard
like,
that. Yeah.
saving this for later. Yeah,
So
that-
It's so basic.
yeah, but you know what? When you're not expecting to get blown away like that,
Yeah.
like, it makes it so much better.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Adele is no question asked the best, hands down.
For me, what was a surprise, and people are probably gonna hate on me in the comments for this, but was Nickelback. So I swear to God.
Wow. Okay,
I swear. So
Jordan, this is the clip that we post on Instagram.
I know. This is really offhand.
This is all street cred is gone now.
Yeah.
Okay,
But let me
Always,
explain
never,
this.
always
Practice.
Nickelback.
Let me explain this though. But so my dad.
Will's cringing right now. He's like, "Fuck, you guys got to bleep that part."
What did you say?
Is he?
Yeah. So
Chad Kroger's cool. Okay, let's hear.
okay, let me explain this though. Okay. So
we're gonna give you a chance to redeem
A
yourself.
lot, a lot of
yeah.
Nickelback fans in the room.
no, this is.
Okay.
So
Okay, let's.
so my dad like loves Nickelback, so that's where it came from.
Fair.
So and I think the first time I saw them I was like 16 or something, but so my dad like really loves Nickelback as like, and Nickelback is like dad rock, right? So
it's
it
dad
makes sense,
rock.
right? And
From
like
the 90s and early
yeah.
2000s, yeah.
yeah, so it's like dad rock, and so anyway, so I didn't like he asked me if I wanted to go to Nickelback concert. I'm like, oh, this sounds kind of whack, maybe, I don't know. But I was like, it's a concert, and like he really wanted to go, and like so I was like, okay, so I went there, and like so this was like the surprise concert for me because I didn't expect much at all. I was like, this is like
Fair enough.
yeah, because like it was like it's like photograph and stuff. You know what I mean? I don't really
Look
wanna,
at her photograph.
Yeah, like I didn't really want to
Every
hear
time
that.
it ever makes me laugh.
I wasn't trying to hear any photograph songs. You know what I mean? So
I'm having a good time today.
yeah, so basically that was like the surprise concert for me because when I went, then it was like they were playing like hard tracks and stuff, and it was like not like the ones I was familiar with, where it was
I?
like
Georgie, get in the frame.
he's trying to get out of frame because I'm talking about Nickelback. and
That's it,
embarrassed.
Georgie. Georgie wants no part of this conversation. Okay, so
He's trying to get out of the clip because he doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be associated with this
George is
Nickelback
trying to get out.
conversation.
I'm listening. Continue.
But yeah, I'd only mention this like I could have not mentioned it, but but I wanted to mention it because it surprised me so much because when I was there, then like I may not have been like a fan of like the songs kind of thing, but like these guys like had like massive amounts of fire and like they were throwing beers into the crowd and stuff.
Heck yeah.
And it was like it was kind of sick, and like I hadn't seen that before, and I was also like 17, like catching beers from Nickelback. You know what I mean? Yeah, from Chad
What a
Kroger.
Canadian thing to do. I just throw
Yeah.
out beer. They're Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I was saying, just throwing out Molson's out there. You want a crowd?
Yeah, but it like really
Pat's
surprised me. It
listening
was
to
like
fuck,
there was
man,
so
you're
much energy.
ruining our cred right now. Like, come on.
Yeah, but it was so surprising because there was so much energy in it, and the like there was so much like pyro and stuff, like more than I'd seen. Like I'd seen at that point I'd seen Metallica like 5 times, and Metallica was like my favorite band like at that time. But
So sorry to
But
interrupt
even
for a
with
second. So Metallica was your favorite band growing up,
yeah.
and your favorite concert's Nickelback, and you guys are R&B.
Not my favorite concert, but it was definitely the one that surprised me the most.
You know, it's
'cause it was-
we're talking a wide range.
yeah, it's a pretty wide range.
Yeah,
It's not really adding up.
Yeah, I probably should have explained that before, but so when I was growing up, like I started playing instruments when I was like 9, kind of thing. So, but my influences so I bought like College Dropout as like one of my like
One of the greatest albums of
I
all
love
time,
it, yeah.
yeah.
And I played it like front to back all the time, and like I didn't have like I would spend like my allowance on like College Dropout or like
Blueprint.
like the even the early 50 Cent albums kind of thing, like
Rich or
the,
Die
the
Trying?
Massacre and like
No, it was in the club.
Get Rich or Die Trying.
That was
Get
my
Rich or
first
Die
ever
Trying.
CD I
It's one of
bought.
the best.
Get Rich or Die Trying was amazing.
When I bought my
And-
first MP3 player, there's the first CD I ever bought, and I would listen to it
Yeah.
on a school trip. I thought it was so cool.
So you want to know
Yeah.
funny? One of the first CDs I ever remember buying with my allowance. My mom took me to HMV at Yorkdale, and this is when Mary J. Blige had this like crazy song that came out. I can't remember what it was called. Do you remember, Will? I can't remember. It was like a banger that was on the radio, and then
Yeah.
Jay-Z came out with Blueprint, and I remember I wanted both those albums. And Mom was like, "You can only have one." They're like $15 or something. And I remember I'm like, "Okay, Jay-Z's gonna make me cool." But I really like Mary J. Blige. So I ended up, I'm like, man, having that new Jay-Z CD is going to make me cool at school. I ended up going
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige because I just fucking love that one song. And then like a month later, I went back because I'm like, I only like that one stupid song. So went back to buy the Blueprint after. But, you know, it's...
Yeah, like the College Dropout was like that was definitely like the one that because I played that back to front like constantly, and then I was also like a Metallica fan because I loved metal kind of thing. So like it was kind of like I like off the bat had this like mixture of like I loved hip hop but I also loved metal kind of thing, and but in general I just love music. I kind of like when I was growing up though I really hated like the boy band era kind of thing. Like Will's gonna hate me for that, but because he's always singing the Backstreet Boys stuff. But like when I was growing up though, like my sister always listened to like Backstreet Boys and like NSYNC on like repeat all the time, and like I hated that stuff so much. Like I don't know if it's just because I was really young, but like I kind of appreciate it now when I go back. But like I just couldn't. I can't.
That was the first concert I ever went to. Was Backstreet Boys.
Was it Backstreet Boys?
Skydome, Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
My aunt took me and my sister, and we were like, they had like a stage that came out down the middle, and we were like right off the side of it, and they were like came right next to us, like, wow, these guys are so cool. In hindsight,
I'm going to tell another story, but I want to hear first. What about you? What did you like growing up?
I was really into metal, like heavy metal,
Really?
because my dad was into it. Like you're always into what your
See, that's the
parents
thing.
are
So
into.
Nickelback's not my fault because it was.
not your fault?
I didn't even say I like Nickelback or that.
Will gave him the look. Will gave him the look for sure.
Yeah, I didn't say I like Nickelback, but
Your cred's going down the drain right now. Those people that are waiting at 2:00 to see you guys aren't waiting anymore.
yeah, they're gonna be like this fucking Nickelback guy. Like,
So
Yeah.
you're into heavy metal as well?
Yeah, like my dad, like growing up, my dad had this like little cardboard box in the car, and he would just like pop cassettes of like random heavy metal bands that I've never heard of, even to this day. But yeah, so that like that's kind of what I grew up on. And my first concert was Guns N' Roses
Okay, that's sick.
in London, 2006. I think it actually ended up being their last concert because I think
Axl Rose is a psychopath. So.
I think the concert
fun.
following that one, he just didn't show up.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
then
we
they
were
just
surprised.
canceled the tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, didn't we see Guns N' Roses at Coachella?
Lolla. No,
Coachella.
AC/DC was Coachella. We never saw Guns N' Roses.
Yeah,
What was
I think they
AC/DC
came
like?
back eventually.
AC/DC was sick
Yeah.
at
Was
Was
Coachella.
it sick?
because Sting had the broken leg.
Who?
Remember? What's the main singer?
Who's
from
Was it
he came out.
Fuck,
what's his
Stan
name?
Brian Johnson?
No.
Oh, did they switch it? Is Brian Johnson not in AC/DC?
No, the broken leg was the guy from Foo Fighters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you're thinking of-
yeah, Dave Grohl.
No, you're thinking of Foo
At
Fighters.
Coachella wasn't the
Dave
Dave Grohl has.
Yeah.
No, that's different. Dave Grohl had a broken leg and he still
at
toured.
Coachella.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dave
Yeah.
Grohl's not AC/DC.
I know, but Foo Fighters had the guy. Dave Grohl had a broken leg
Dave
at Coachella.
Grohl broke his leg. There was a story of Dave Grohl broke his leg on tour and he kept touring and he would sit in a chair and perform with his leg up like this.
But is that the
he's
one
a
we saw at
legend.
Coachella?
No.
One of them, I'm going to check it because I think we saw AC/DC. I think the main singer had a
Oh,
broken leg
I
or
don't-
knee
I-
surgery because he came out on like one of those.
Sorry, knee surgery. Yes,
knee
yes,
surgery.
yeah,
He
torn
came out on
ACL, that makes
the.
more
He
sense.
came out on
Yeah.
that little.
Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, right.
But they were cool.
I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
That was the year, the first year, 2015.
No, the
when we
second
went.
year because
No, 'cause John
I was
there.
with Norway.
John was there
I was with Norway during that concert.
at AC/DC. Your
Yeah.
brother was there. John was there headbanging. John didn't come in 2016. It's 2015. You can look up the picture.
Well, we'll
if you
check
want.
it out after.
So, anyways, to the point, it's 2015. But what I was getting at that point was 2015 was probably the best year overall I've ever seen from a Coachella lineup. We went
Yeah.
for the first time, and it was like AC/DC is one of the headliners. It was a big Canadian one. Drake and The Weeknd both played.
That's amazing.
And like The Weeknd wasn't. He was big then, but not like Drake level. Like
Yeah.
not like he is today. Because
Yeah.
Drake was like headlining, and The Weeknd played the day before.
Sub
Undercard, Cascade, the DJ was headlining that night.
Okay.
But I'll never forget this. This is still one of the, not the best concert ever I've seen, but one of the coolest performances I've seen because, you know, with Coachella, there's always those rumors that someone's going to guest appearance. It's
Yeah.
every year they talk about it, any big festival. So we're watching The Weeknd, and we're standing near the back, like near the beer garden, and we're sitting there watching him play, and he's singing Heartless. And like The Weeknd, have you guys seen him live?
I have. I saw him at a festival, but I was really far away, so I didn't.
He
Really,
sounds. I've seen him a
Yeah.
couple times at concert. He sounds the same on his albums and his concert. Like
Yeah.
super, like amazing voice. Anyways, he's singing Heartless, and he's singing something, and it goes into like Heartless, and I was like, oh, that's weird. He's going into Kanye West, and then I was like, wait. I was like, he's gonna bring Kanye. I have a video of this. I'm just like taking it. And my buddy's next to me, and I was like, he's gonna bring Kanye West out. And the music cuts, and it goes to the beat like 808s and Heartbreaks, Heartless, and Kanye West came out. And it was one of the craziest
hype.
performances. He came out and played like 3 songs. I've never seen a crowd go so hyped before. That was
Random story.
That was
Will, I think
crazy.
me and you
That's
met
so
at a
sick.
weekend concert.
I was just
Yeah.
I turned over. Was
Eating
he?
the cookies. No, because I think I went with Mickey to a weekend concert, and like it was me, you, Mickey, and one other person. The one at Danforth, I think, or like one of those venues. The one near Yonge and Dundas. What was the venue there? It's Massey Hall. Did Weeknd ever perform there? Anyways, random thought.
But yeah,
Fuck, man. 90% of the times I see you are drunk, Will. Okay, so favorite concert you went to was
Guns N'
Guns N'
I'd say
Roses?
Guns N' Roses. That was a solid one.
Can I actually
Still-
give my real favorite concert? Because
Oh yeah,
Really back-
let me go back to the. To be
Now he
clear, the
wants to
Nickelback thing was only the most because you said Adele was the most surprising concert you'd been to.
No, just best,
Okay, best,
surprising,
okay.
and ever greatest.
Okay, so I was saying with Nickelback, it's like the most surprising concert I went to because it was like I expected to hate it.
Okay, fair.
and then they came up with like pyro and they were throwing beers in the crowd and stuff like that and like shooting stuff in the crowd. I don't know. So I thought it was cool. Like that was like it was kind of hype. But for my favorite concert, I think it would actually have to be Metallica. I saw Metallica so many times, but I think also my second favorite would be City and Color.
I've actually heard good things about what's his
Dallas
name?
Green.
Brian Dallas Green.
Yeah. And like with City and Color, actually on our album, we sampled him on like one of the songs, and then he like
sick.
approved the song, kind
Oh,
of thing, which was
cool.
really cool. So that was like, and I was like a huge City and Color
gotta be
fan,
a
like growing
sick
up
feeling.
and stuff. So it was like I'd been to so many concerts and like had always wanted to meet him too, but it never happened. But that was like a really cool like full circle moment that happened with like our new album kind of thing.
I
So
love that.
yeah. So
Let's
it's like
talk about the new album.
yeah.
Well, what can you tell
Yeah.
us?
About the new so it came out in October, and it was like it took us like I think a year and a half to
Yeah, it was like about a year and a half.
It's like a year and a half
to
worth
put
of
the whole
music
thing
kind of
together,
thing.
yeah.
And yeah, so this City and Color thing was definitely like a cool point that it happened. And then I don't know what we would say about it otherwise. Like I mean it was
It's just I don't know, man. It's
like our second
heartbreak
album.
music. I don't know.
yeah. It's
Well,
hard to
was it
explain an
inspired
album really.
by some heartbreaks or something?
Yeah, it was. Of course. You know, it always is.
Yeah, like I mean this one was definitely more of a mixture like of different vibes compared to our first album. Our first album
Yeah,
was
there
very like
there was some variety there.
yeah, the first album was a very like sad album for the most part, like for a lot of it. But the second one had some like different mixtures and stuff. We had some different collaborators on the first album. Almost all the album was just the two of us, kind of thing. So it was like, and that was like kind of a compilation of like 2016 to 2018, I guess,
Yeah.
or something like that. So. And when you put out an album too, it's like it just feels like the day after it comes out, you're like I have to start all over kind of thing, because it's like you just put out like everything from your catalog kind of thing, all your best stuff, and
Yeah.
so like it's just kind of a defeating feeling sometimes. And the next day you're like, okay, we're starting the next year and a half
Start
now.
from
Yeah. So it's like it's always it's always tough after that too, because it's just like a creative dump like of just like everything that you have. You're like all your cards on the table, and you're like have it all.
Does
Yeah.
it feel good though to start from a clean? Like, for the most part, does it feel like sometimes like shit? Like we got to do all of this over again, or is it also on the other hand like okay, we can kind of find like a bit of a not new sound, but almost like a new story to go with, or like a new path in the album? Or do you guys try to stay consistent across them?
It's mostly consistent, but yeah, it's more of a defeating feeling for sure.
Okay.
I think a lot of people go through that though, like when you put out like a big project, because like our albums are like 15 songs kind of thing, so it's like they're not like an EP or something, you know. They're not
Right.
like so I think they are like pretty long for this, I guess, like the size of an artist we are, because like I don't really see a lot of other artists putting out albums that are that long, because I think it also is it's a lot of songs. It's hard to keep people's attention also for like 15 songs too. So it's kind of
For
a
sure.
bold move to put out that many songs, I think, sometimes, especially in like the streaming era. I think it's and this like
Yeah, it's so much different
Yeah.
now than it was like 10, 15 years ago.
yeah, like when you put out an album, it's like that's I mean, you guys probably feel this too. Like when you go on Spotify, it's kind of more about like picking your own album kind of thing. You make your own playlist kind of thing.
Well, especially with you have like the essentials now, right?
Yeah.
Like Apple and Spotify, they'll make their own. Okay, you know, like always
Yeah.
have essentials, where it's like they'll pick 3 from this album, 3 from that album, 3 from that album.
Exactly.
They make their own essential album now, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You definitely have to have like an engaged fan base to like even put out like an album like that kind of thing these days. 'Cause
sure.
it's,
well, why don't you tell a story that you tell about?
Yeah, J. Cole. That's what I was gonna tell, because we said
We're on
15
the
songs.
vibe,
yeah,
man.
Yeah. I told it recently. I think we have told him more than once, but
we've heard it so many times. So, great story.
To answer all the question I didn't get, asked, my favorite concert. J.
Nobody
Cole.
cares.
J. Cole's amazing.
J. Cole's
I've
my
been
favorite.
I'm a big fan of J. Cole.
Forest Hill Drive. Like since that day, I have that record. I can't find it. I think someone stole it from here. I was convinced it's here, unless it's at my condo, which I doubt. I think someone took it.
We actually got to get a record player set up in here.
Anyways, to your point of like keeping attention, he's one guy that like I was so blown away. First time I ever saw him was at Scotiabank or ACC at the time, and he played like the stage was in the middle, like so he was like in the middle of the place, played Came out for his intro, sang his first song. It was the first song on it was the 4 Your Eyes Only tour. And the first song, which I forget what it's called now. He sang it. Everyone went crazy. And he's like, listen, he went on the mic. He's like, listen, before we go any farther, I'm just letting you guys know. I know most artists come out and play their bangers. He goes, I'm playing every song start to finish on my entire album. If you don't like it, you can fucking leave. And he says this, and I was like, man, I'm saying I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying for this whole thing. And the album all his albums have a storyline to it, right? Some songs they change a lot, so it's not, some people, I mean, not for all of them, but he said, he's like, you want to go to the washroom? Go on the song you don't like. And he's like, at the end, I'll play my bangers. Anyways, he played I don't think he left the stage. He just played for 2 hours straight, the whole album start to finish, and then all his hits at the end. And it was one of the best concerts I ever went to, and I commend him. Like, I mean, I get maybe a lot of artists do that in their shows. They play all of them. I haven't been to enough concerts to know, but for the most part, you think like, especially hip hop concert, like
No, they mostly play bangers.
we saw Future 1 year Future,
Oh,
Amigos saw all of them.
Don't get me started on
that
Future.
was just that was another story. But
Worst concert I've ever been to, Future.
Really? Yeah. I honestly, I wouldn't be.
Future makes the best club like hip hop
Yeah.
bangers. Like you listen to every Future song, like this is a club absolute banger. You see him live, first off, he's always like consistently late. So, which is fine. I get it. You're a rapper. You're gonna be late. That's your thing. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, but then you have DJ Echo or Exco. What's his name? Exco.
Esco, yeah.
So he comes on. He's the hype man. I get it. That's your boy. That's your DJ. Yo, hype up the crowd. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
But yo, like 20, 30 minutes max. Like, yo, 45-minute like DJ set to hype up the crowd when you're already 45 minutes late. Okay, whatever. But it's like Future. I want to hear you rap. You're not your hype man's hype man. Like, you're the fucking headliner here. Like, you're the main show. Like, I don't want to just hear every other word or like the random ad lib or whatever it's called. I'm like, yo, man, fucking rap already. Like, I'm singing the words. I don't even know them. You better be singing them. Like, fuck, what I pay to come here for?
yeah,
So he was just doing ad libs and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen him 3 times. I've seen him 3 times now, and he's been late every single time. And sometimes his DJ puts on a better show than he does.
Wow.
That's wild.
Like it's and I love Future. Like Future's my to listen to. Like you put on a Future playlist on YouTube. Oh, I can listen to it for hours.
Yeah.
Because his music's just hype, and he's cool.
Yeah, it really
you look
is.
at him like that guy's cool.
Yeah.
You know the way he moves on his hair. I'm
yeah,
like,
the
"Ugh,
performance,
ugh."
terrible.
Terrible.
I forgot we were on the topic of playing start to finish songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, those guys all play hype. Even like I've seen Drake.
Drake,
before.
yeah,
The
Drake
same
plays
thing. They all
all
play all their bangers.
Yeah.
I saw J. Cole on the Born Sinner tour, and I loved it. It was like
Sick.
from front to back. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that album I think that's my favorite album.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We actually, we have a song called Hopeless where we sampled one of the songs from Born Sinner.
No shit. I'll be honest, I haven't heard it, but I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
That's sick.
But yeah, it was cool. Yeah, I just like, I've loved J. Cole for like a long time.
He's so
I
talented.
feel like he's hard to not like.
Yeah, I completely agree.
He's just so
he's cool
I
too.
like,
Like, cool. His
really
music's sick. Like he doesn't take bullshit. He doesn't sell out.
Yeah.
Like he's a cool dude.
I love like his storytelling is like because there's in hip hop there's like a lot of hits and stuff, like a lot of stuff you can play in the club or like party to and stuff like that, but like it's like the storytelling stuff that you end up playing like by yourself or in the car and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's like
for sure.
That's stuff that hits really hard, I think.
Let me ask you guys, who are your favorite artists? Not concerts, like, or actually no. Let me change the question. Who are the artists that you look up to or try and replicate or that inspires you the most? Because you guys are metal fans, but
Yeah.
I don't think
would-
you're taking much of your inspiration for your heartbreak music from metal songs.
So actually, some
Unless
of it
I'm
does
wrong.
come from Metallica. Like there are
Okay,
some songs
fuck,
that, which is like it's more the guitar driven songs and stuff.
Okay.
And we like recently did this like virtual show where we made like sort of more like rock versions of our songs in a way. Like it's kind of like still like the same flair of the originals, but like adding in more guitar solos and like power chords and stuff into it, kind of thing. So we do try to like implement that kind of stuff too to kind of set it apart as well, like some metal influences kind of thing. But yeah, in terms of favorite art, what would you say for favorite artists?
I mean, like I was always inspired by like the Toronto artists, like when I first started music, like that's who I looked up to, I think it was like Drake, Weeknd, Party, like at the time.
Yeah.
And like all those guys, I was just like, man.
See, that's the answer I was kind of expecting. Right?
Yeah.
Like the Metallica, I was
You
like, oh, that's crazy. Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
I also really got into like Kendrick Lamar. I mean, like obviously that's like a very different genre of music, but I don't know. I just love the way he like storytells and like it's just amazing.
His performance,
Yeah,
how was it?
Kendrick
The
Lamar's
Grammys 2 years ago or the
Yeah.
Oscars? I don't know. Was it the Grammys or the?
He had a crazy Grammys performance.
So the Grammys, then he had a crazy performance there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah. He's a crazy artist. He was definitely one of my favorites. It's really hard to pick a favorite though, because I definitely have like a list, but I would say Like from
Chad
Toronto
Kruger.
though, I would say like, yeah. imagine I said that right now.
Whatever. Whatever.
Like-
Sorry, Jordan.
I think Bryson Tiller actually inspires me a lot, which is like, but the thing with Bryson Tiller that kind of upset me though was just that it didn't really grow and like that kind of, and I really wanted to see him like explode.
I haven't seen
And
any really big hits come from him lately. Like
Trap
recently.
Soul is like one of
Yeah.
my favorite albums ever, and like it's kind of like I don't know if that's like
Kinda
a weird
went-
thing to
fell
say,
off
but
after.
Trap Soul was just like I could listen to that front to back for
really
like,
good,
forever,
really good
kind
album.
of thing. Yeah,
That
and
was
like
that was probably 2015 or 16 or something maybe.
it was 2015. Yeah,
And
and
since then, I think he's had. I've only heard. I heard one song recently, but it was he redid the song from Trap Soul. What was it called?
it was
I'm not gonna.
which one? He did it was talking about the music video.
He re-released that. I saw it on Spotify. I'm gonna look it up while we're
Okay.
talking. But it was a song that I know is old. He like redid it with another artist on it. Maybe with
Oh, was it Rambo?
Rambo.
Yeah, Rambo.
That was from
yeah.
Trap Soul, no?
Yeah, I actually didn't like the new version that much.
But who was that with?
It was with the Weeknd.
With The
You
Weeknd,
put the
that's
Weeknd
it,
on,
yeah.
because Weeknd had a version too, but I just didn't like the way that they mixed. They remixed the song as
Yeah.
well, like the production stuff, and I didn't really like that. But because the original was so fire,
Really
so
good, really good.
I wouldn't want to see the original change. But yeah, Trap Soul was one of my favorite albums ever, and Bryson Tiller I think he's like a super inspiring artist to me. And then I would say from Toronto, Magic Jordan for sure. Magic Jordan is
He's
fire.
sick. I actually saw
Hey.
Magic. I saw Magic Jordan in Barcelona.
Yeah? In Barcelona. That's great.
I was traveling and I had to be in Barcelona. I was in Barcelona in June. They have a festival called Primavera Festival. Who did I see? Lord played. Bryson Tiller, ASAP Rocky.
A$AP Rocky is also one of my
I
favorite.
saw him in
ASAP's
Barcelona. That
hype.
was,
Yeah.
ASAP was
ASAP's
crazy.
first mixtape, Live Love ASAP. Yeah, like that one before he.
ASAP's hype. Travis Scott's also hype.
Yeah,
What was the
I love
song
Travis
that
Scott.
just came out when I saw him? I Love with the Gang. So I forget the song. It'll come to me. But anyways, he came out to it. I saw him, and then right after he played, Magic was playing across I had to walk across the festival. And I saw Magic Jordan play for like 30 minutes. Some small stage, like no one. I was like front row.
Yeah.
They were sick.
Yeah,
Really,
Magic
really
Jordan
talented.
is honestly really fire. They haven't really put any. I know they just put out a song just now.
Yeah,
but
they just
they
did,
kind
yeah.
of took a hiatus for like I think a year and a half.
I just saw a post though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
coming
so
back.
they have a
Yeah.
new song
So
now.
a good friend of mine, or not a good friend, but a friend of mine's their photographer.
Yeah,
So actually, like I just saw a post. I was like, "Fuck, I didn't even think about them to get them on the podcast too."
yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah,
We
they're
should definitely
super
do it.
dope though. Like they, especially like the first. They had this like EP called A Place Like This, like the first one.
It's
And
like when Drake kind of discovered them or something.
yeah,
They kinda
it was
got
like the
big.
first
Drake or the
EP they
Weeknd
put
that
out
discovered
on
them?
Someone, but it just that
One
was
of
the
those.
first,
Drake,
yeah.
yeah.
XO OVO crew.
because they did the Hold On We're Going Home track with Drake, and then
Yeah.
that was what I think kind of exploded them a little too soon, kind of thing. Like it sort of put them on this like main stage quickly, but before they had more songs out, kind
Yeah.
of thing. So I think it was like almost a little early,
I
but
think Drake touches just turns to gold.
yeah,
too.
literally that song's
Yeah.
still huge, but
Yeah.
yeah, they're like early stuff I like really love a lot. Like
Yeah,
I feel like they're super inspiring too because they have like a really interesting sound to them.
Yeah. Well, boys, I want to ask. We're nearing the part where we start to wrap it up, but I want to ask what's in store for 2021 or the remainder of 2021. No Chicago, we know that we've already covered that part.
Yeah. So with I guess it's an interesting question because I guess it depends on the lockdown, right? Like it's like or where Canada's going to be at or where traveling is going to be at. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, for now, like we just put out a virtual concert recently, so that's out. But so
Yeah.
now it's just really just like Dean was saying, starting over
Yeah.
and making some new bangers.
Yeah. We got
What-
to make some bangers this year for sure.
Do you think you're gonna go more banger, like upbeat, high tempo love music, or is it we're gonna go heartbreak?
I think it's gonna be.
What
a
vibe
mixture-
you guys in right now?
I think it's gonna be a mixture of both.
Yeah.
Because like you
The
can't
heart
have
is
too much of
mending.
one thing. Like
Yeah.
some variety is always nice. So, I
But
think
definitely some summer bangers for sure.
summer
Yeah.
bangers. Yeah, some heartbreak music.
Who does more of the writing?
So when it comes to like instrumental stuff, it's all
Yeah.
Dean.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
The,
just
the way
all
we
that.
work on our stuff is that like we have 2 bedrooms and like we have 2 studios in each one, right? So
Yeah.
Dean's working on beats in one, and then he just sends me a link to the file. I do my recording in my room by myself. and
Just
then
like 2015 back end.
just like
Pretty much.
2015, but
It's the
now
same
we're-
thing, but
Send
it's
an
just
email.
all
Oh, you're just living the same.
apartment. Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
get together
Hey,
for
if it ain't-
breakfast,
if
lunch.
it ain't
and-
broke, don't fix it.
It's all through his Facebook message and emails.
No, what? You guys don't do Facebook
No,
message.
no, we
Okay,
don't do
fuck.
that anymore. But we
Yeah.
should though, just for old times'
Just
sake.
for old times'
just for
sake.
old time's sake. Yeah.
Hey, Dean,
Hey man,
it's
want to
me.
collab? Like,
If
Yeah.
if you guys could collaborate with one Toronto artist right now, who would it be?
that's a good question.
That's a great question. I don't know.
We might have different answers. I don't know.
It's really challenging.
Like, does it matter like how big they are? Or
Yeah, does
Whatever
it-
you
does
want.
that
Is your
matter?
answer.
I mean, you know what? I love Drake, and like I'd love to have him on a song. but,
I
you
was
know,
gonna say Drake. Because the thing is, like, Drake sounds good on everything.
he
And
really
so-
does. Like,
yeah.
he really
He
turn
can
anything
rap
into-
in Arabic and still put out a banger.
Yeah, like
or
I
sing
feel like if you
Arabic.
sent him any song,
Didn't he
he would
do an
just
Arabic
find a
song?
way to make
Did
it a
he?
banger.
Didn't he do a verse in Arabic
He did
last year? Jordan.
Maybe.
verse in Arabic.
I think he like rapped a part of a verse or sang a part of a verse in Arabic.
Oh, he featured. Oh,
Okay,
and he
might
did,
have.
and it was a Spanish song as well last year.
I can't remember
I
Spanish,
remember the
Bieber.
Spanish
but
one.
I know he did the.
He's done a couple of
Bad
Spanish
Bunny, the
songs.
Spanish one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then-
He raps in Arabic and only do freestyle.
there you go.
Wow.
I did
That's
like
wild.
banger.
Yeah.
Ah.
Guy can do it in any language.
Yeah.
Let me ask you.
He's gonna be a Greek performer soon.
Yeah.
Hey, his kid's named. Isn't his kid named
Adonis, I think.
Adonis.
Yeah.
Isn't that Greek name?
It's Greek, Lebanese, Middle Eastern, it's a little bit of everything. That's actually interesting. Eh? Like, you know, you made a point. Everything turns to gold. I always wondered this. Like, is it a product at that level? Is it a product of you're still super talented no matter what you send out is going to be a banger, or is at that point it's the name helps a little bit more?
I think it's B. What do you guys think?
I think once you establish yourself to like a level like that, people just will listen to anything you put out. But I mean, his music is also great.
Agreed.
So
His-
it's like, you know, he has two great things going for him.
But so let's say each album that he keeps coming out with keeps beating his previous albums. Like he just
Yeah.
came out. I think he just had the top 3 songs
Yeah.
on the top Billboard 100 or whatever.
Yeah.
Those 3 songs weren't better than some of the stuff he put out, 8 years ago.
I agree. Yeah.
But yet he broke a new record. It's like he's just when you're that big, I think you're just almost not untouchable, but
That's a really
like
good point.
Adele comes out with a new song, even if it sucks,
It's going number one.
still gonna
and
be
Rick's,
number 1.
And Rick's
Yeah.
gonna be
And I'm
singing
gonna be
in
there.
the
Yeah,
concert.
hello, goodbye.
Yeah.
I love you.
He's just like so mainstream to a point where just like everybody listens to him. Like my dad's now a fan of Drake. Like my dad will send me links to like new Drake
How the
songs.
turntables have turned.
Yeah, they definitely have turned.
He really is so mainstream that like my parents also know, like even before I would tell them anything about Drake, like they already knew who he was, kind of thing. And I feel
Your
like
mom's sending you new Drake songs, eh?
yeah, pretty much.
Dean, you heard that new Drake song?
Yeah, my mom's actually very on top of like
Yeah.
of new music and stuff.
Your
like,
daddy, did you get that new Spotify song?
Yeah, I agree with you though that like it is like Drake's name is also just huge, right? Like he can do anything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the songs are bangers and like the writing is amazing. There's always really quotable stuff in all the lyrics, and
Yeah.
it's also like really memeable sometimes. And I
Yeah.
think that also helps it.
Instagram captionable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he seems to be like the king of like memes at the same time because like I feel like that makes it go so much more viral.
What was the one with the purple room or the yellow room? The ball?
Hotline
Hotline
Bling,
Bling,
right?
Yeah,
There you go.
And that's like huge, like in the meme world, like it still is.
Yeah. You know who did it? What was it? Convenience bar across the street had a pink light in the basement by the phone. And legit, I came back. It was on the same time. I was traveling and I came home, went there on the opening night, and I went downstairs. Like I saw the phones in pink, and I was like, "Wow, these guys they did that. Good for them," because you saw it all over Instagram for
Yeah.
like months.
Well, think about how many bathrooms now, like Locals bathroom or Escobar bathroom.
Just quotes and everything.
Well, they have the lights around the mirror, so the good lighting, and
Yeah.
then the background, like Locals only, I think has 4 different themed bathroom. One's like flowers, one's whatever.
That's smart.
Escobar has the different naked women, Playboy like cutouts.
Yeah.
smart.
I know a couple things about bathrooms. Like, big bathroom guy.
He's saying that because he takes a lot of shits.
I need to say that on the
Well, you
podcast.
might want to be clear. I don't know. Like you want to go bathroom in a club. Like you might want to be clear about why.
Fair enough, actually.
You might want to be clear about why.
no,
Rick
I,
uses
like,
the
I'm the
washroom
type
to
like
go-
I will Google the bathroom at,
Yeah.
at a restaurant before I go.
You review it on Yelp too.
No, he actually legit does.
So
Like, I was just gonna book a dinner for my birthday. And he's like, "Oh, they got bad bathrooms." I was like, "Why does that matter? The food's good."
So, but here's why it matters. And
Hey, speaking
we're
of,
gonna wrap
hey,
up. So here's why it matters. If you're going out
shout out
for
to Lost Valley. I put in some new washrooms in there.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
saw renovations.
Some of the worst
Those
bathrooms.
doors those doors would never close. How many times you walk
So-
by and open the door, you see someone sitting on the toilet. Like, this is weird.
Yeah. The thing about bathrooms is if you're going for dinner, like you're doing
I
a good
see
like
your
birthday dinner or
renovations.
something,
Yeah.
you're going out to dinner at 7, 8 o'clock and you're going, let's
Yeah.
say you're eating Italian. Well, that's a fucking heavy meal.
Yeah.
I'm
Are we
good
talking
at
about pooping now?
well, no, I'm just telling why bathrooms are important. I wasn't
Oh
going to say the word
my God.
poop.
This is getting
but-
clipped.
Yeah.
So no, so
Raw
the thing is,
uncut.
yeah, when you're out there for so long, you're drinking, and then you have an espresso after dinner. It's like I'm gonna go to the nightclub at 11 o'clock.
Where's this
You're
going?
there early. It's like fuck. Like I'm not going to a nightclub. Like
Yeah.
okay, well let's Google what those bathrooms look like. Like let's see cleanliness. 5 out of 5. Google stars.
I honestly didn't know you could Google a bathroom.
Well,
Yeah, I didn't know
it's
that either.
tricky. Like you gotta like
It's
read
like
the
you really have
comments.
to like.
Yeah, you gotta read.
inspect.
Someone's got to post.
And
a
if you don't
picture.
find bathroom, just go after cleanliness. That's like the
Right.
That's how people
Yeah.
describe the bathrooms.
Interesting.
Yeah, that makes
Place
sense.
was very
We,
clean.
uh,
The more you know.
We actually have a startup as well, and we were recently interviewing a position for an engineering role, a software engineer, and I remember the guy that was one of the guys that made it pretty far into the interview process. He built a project, and I was asking him about it, and it had a weird name. I forget what it was called, but it was something to do with washrooms. And he basically built an app that's like the Yelp for public washrooms, and he built it for his university campus in Vancouver. And he basically just like then it kind of expanded a little bit, so they would like you could tag a location on Google Maps, tag the washroom, and then people can rate the washroom. I forgot to tell you about that.
I'd be all over that.
Yeah, pretty good,
Yeah.
pretty good app.
That
Honestly,
sounds like
think
a
about
great
it.
app.
Yeah.
That sounds really unique. actually.
How do you-
Enough about washrooms and water.
Yeah.
He goes to the washroom.
Boys, we want to thank you for coming on. You guys are awesome.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for the
having us.
shirts, the comic books.
Oh yeah,
Of course.
We'll definitely get you guys back on once kind of world opens up, or when you have
Yeah.
a new album, whether it's going to be about heartbreaks, love, club bangers, whatever. We'll
When
get you guys back
shows,
on.
whatever. When you're not
Yeah.
your new Chicago shows, all that stuff.
Yeah, the Chicago shows. So, but before we wrap up, we got 2 questions we always ask every guest.
Okay.
Do you guys know them?
Nope.
I have no idea.
Oh, so you didn't listen all the way to
I
the
did.
end of Will's.
Did you get the questions at the end? I did. I don't remember it. Wow, he doesn't remember either. Maybe that's why I don't remember. I don't
Come on,
know.
almost like July maybe.
Will
or
was on
June?
in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he doesn't remember, maybe that's why I
It was a
don't
long
remember.
time
Yeah.
ago.
Okay, so first question. You can answer it individually. If there was a movie about your lives, who would you want to star as you? Could be anyone from any point in time.
Ryan Gosling's a sick guy, so I'd hire him.
Sick. Sick.
Love Ryan Gosling.
His Instagram post when he got the vaccine.
What?
Just
I
got my
didn't see that,
5G.
actually.
That's Ryan Reynolds. I think you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is it a different Ryan?
Oh yeah, you're
Different
right.
Ryan.
Ryan.
Same Ryan. Whatever.
That's right.
It's all the same. That's an interesting question. I want to say Mark Wahlberg because he was one of my favorite
Oh,
actors
he's good
growing up,
too.
but
He's sick.
he's just like a sick action guy, you know. Like, but I don't know if that
He,
fits.
he
though.
commented on our podcast a couple months
Did he?
ago. And no big
No,
deal.
really?
Yeah.
So he's gonna see this.
What?
And he'll be
Well,
like,
we
"Awesome."
don't know.
No,
about
you
that,
probably
but-
won't see it.
No, but so
I can hope though.
we had a guest on whose daughter, who her name's Carlin Domi. She's Ty Domi's daughter.
Yeah.
And when we released the episode, like Ty Domi shared in, like Ty Domi's very well connected. So like
Yeah.
Tom Brady commented on the podcast, Mark Wahlberg commented on the podcast, all the Nelk boys, Dave Grutman said best podcast ever. Like
There was a few.
That's
few blue
awesome.
checks in our
yeah, like
in our
Wow.
comment
couple
section.
like
It's
a
pretty cool.
couple dozen blue checks. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's so
wild.
wild.
yeah, it's crazy.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wait, did you give yours?
Yeah,
I said Mark.
Wahlberg.
I don't know if it's like a good fit, but I always like really fucked with Mark Wahlberg. He's a
Hey, it's
sick
whoever
guy.
you want.
Yeah.
It's your- he's
playing-
He's a
your
great
movie.
action movie guy.
He's the
Yeah.
best.
It's your movie.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg's cool. Honestly, if I could sit down with like a celebrity to have like lunch and just shoot the shit or have a drink with, he would probably be up there.
Yeah.
That guy's been in that scene for a very long time, and he just seems very cool.
Oh, he's not. He went from like teen heartthrob singer, Calvin Klein model to legit actor.
Yeah.
Like, legit actor.
Like he's been through a lot. He's very
And then
versatile.
producer, like Entourage.
Yeah, Entourage. Like, and Entourage is one of my favorite shows ever. And
One of the best ever.
And also, like, he did a movie like Rockstar. Like, have you seen that movie? Like,
That's
where
such a
he's
good
like
movie, too.
like a
about
crazy
The
singer
Fighter?
in it. Yeah, he's
I don't
a
think I've
fighter
seen
singer.
Rockstar.
Really?
It's old. It's
Super
like
sick movie.
2002.
I
think.
remember
Yeah.
it now that you bring it up. Yeah, but I don't think I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like this crazy. Like he must have had to do so much vocal practice for it. But he was like a crazy rock singer in it. And it was like I was like I didn't know this guy could do this, and then action movies, and then Entourage. He's like
The nice
producing
guys or
Entourage,
the
yeah.
other guys?
The other guy.
Yeah.
That was
He's doing everything.
He's funny.
That's one of the
in
most
that.
underrated funny movies.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
the way he is.
When
Serious,
Will
in that
Ferrell's
movie
the
is-
wooden gun.
they varnished him.
Yeah, The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. The beginning.
What a movie. I'm gonna watch that later.
I rewatched a couple weeks ago. Georgie,
Last
hit 'em.
question. You have to answer this obviously individually. If you could give one piece of advice to your younger selves, what would it be?
You can go first.
Just take it easy, you know. Don't stress so much,
Okay.
you know.
Love it.
Yeah.
He's
So
trying to
t-
copy
so-
your answer.
Just trying to figure out a way to.
I got like a few.
Say the same
Don't
thing.
say the
I'm gonna
Nickelback
myself, so I'm
concert
just-
next time someone says
Yeah.
best concert.
Go to a Nickelback concert. I would say, you can always start over at any time, like at any age. and I think that's just something I'd like wouldn't have known a long time ago. Cause like, you know, when like everyone tells you that, like after high school, everything's over. And then other people tell you like after university, everything's over. And like, I feel like that's just not true anymore. So I would probably say that like, you could start a new career at any point, and like you could, because of the internet and because of you know, how many resources are out there. So like I feel like people get down on themselves, and like I would have got down on myself, like, you know, at a young age or whatever, but thinking that like if you don't figure it out in the next year, like you're fucked or something, you know. But I feel like that's not true anymore.
Yeah,
So
love it.
I think that's
me and George.
probably, yeah.
We're basically switching career paths a complete 180.
Yeah.
You know, from family businesses like commercial cleaning, construction to technology.
Yeah.
You know, app entrepreneurs right now. Like it's complete 180. So yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Like I feel like that's just the most true thing of, especially through like lockdown, right? Like I think a lot of people are discovering new things about themselves because like they might have lost the career that they thought was that for them for the rest of their life, and then now they're like realizing, oh, I'm actually really passionate about this other thing that I'm going to try out, kind of thing, and they're trying new things. So I feel like that's definitely the advice I'd give, I think.
It's good advice.
Love it.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you also, just to add to that, you also don't know, like, I'd say very few people know what they want to do their entire lives at a young
So
age.
true.
I thought I knew what I knew going to my family business. I just knew. I looked at my dad. I'm like, oh, it's like entrepreneur, CEO. That's what I want to be. And I
Yeah.
in some capacity I did, and I thought that specific field to like, you know, take over what he's
That
done
path.
is that path. And I was convinced till like a few years ago. I did that my whole life, and I still enjoy it. Like, but it's not like my maybe not absolute joy. And I try this new thing. Like we're trying this new thing. I was like, wow, this is really like interesting. We're 30. Like, to your point, you can start anytime. Don't be
Yeah.
People that say 30 is old, it's not old at all.
Yeah. I think
Age
to
is just a number.
Yeah, like for me, like I know, like so I guess for music, even like it was like after high school, like I didn't think music could be a thing, kind of thing, and like for a good couple of years, I was like, because in my small town, I was like, this doesn't happen, like nobody does this kind of thing, right? And so I think for me, it was like when we got into this, and I was like, we could do this because it's not like you have to have this all figured out by 20 or 19 or something like that, and that's your career for the rest of your life, kind of thing. And it was like we figured it out and like just ran with music, kind of thing, and it's worked. So but I feel like for anyone else though, it's like I always hear people kind of stressing about like this, you know, my career fell through, or like, you know, this I don't know what I want to do, and then they just like they think because of their age, like, or wherever they're at in life, they have to like have it figured out now, but that's not totally true anymore.
100%.
Yeah.
You can always
Completely
figure it
agree.
out.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Boys.
Guys, it's a blast.
Yeah, appreciate you guys coming on. Like we're definitely going to do a round 2 in the summer, spring or something. Summer, fall. But yeah, appreciate you coming on.
sounds
If
good.
people want to find out more about what you guys are doing, shows, concerts, music, SoundCloud links, where can they go? How can they find you?
I think Instagram would be easiest. Just
Yeah.
add always
Instagram,
never,
yeah.
you know, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
always never.
Yeah, it's super
sick
easy.
name too. Nice blue check. What's up?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. We'll share it in the comments, the bio. Guys, if you've made it this far in the episode, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. Give our boys a good follow on Instagram, and yeah, that's it. Subscribe, like, review, all those fun things. And until next time, signing off, pals.
See ya.